श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ अखण्डानन्दसम्बोधः वन्दनात् जायते गोविन्दं तमहं वन्दे चिदानन्दतनुं गुरुम्. Yesterday we were seeing avṛttihi tamasah śaktiḥ tadhi avarana karanam moola vidya iti sa prokta yayā sammohitam jagat. Avṛtti, which is a tamasah shakti, it is the characteristics of tamoguna. It's tamoguna. Why? Because what is tamas? Darkness. What is the nature of darkness? To be, to cover, to make it disappear from this side. So that is what avarana does. Therefore, that avarana whose shakti is to wield, to cover, moola vidya iti, that avarana is called as moola avidya. Moola vidya, the root ignorance, the primal ignorance. Sa prokta, that is said, she is said as moola vidya. Sa is feminine case, so she is said as moola vidya. That is how some people want to interpret it, because they want to be very truthful to the words in the Sanskrit. But the problem is they don't understand Vedanta. You cannot call, just because it is in feminine case, you cannot call the self to be, the ignorance to be she. Because the same word can be used in feminine case, masculine case, or in neutral gender. It can be any gender it can be. Here, when we say it is she, it is in the feminine case, it is to show the prasava dharma. It is its nature to give birth to the creation. That's all. Otherwise, there will be big confusion, because the one word wife can be used in multiple cases, multiple genders. You can say bharya, patni, etc. So one is in feminine case, the other is in masculine case. What does that mean? So that is not what it is, what is meant there. When we say these words, that is just to show the characteristics of the person. When you say the wife in masculine case, we say she is the ruler of the house. It's just to point to things like that. That's all. Okay. So moola vidyasa, because you cannot show it in feminine case, feminine gender, because it is inert. How can you show some inert as masculine and feminine? It's the most stupidest. People don't understand Vedanta. That is the problem. So he says vivekavānapyatiyauktiko'pi. So that is done with we have established the characteristics of the avarana. Avarana is that which disappears, that which makes it disappear, that which weaves. Okay, and because of which we are all deluded. Fine. We are all deluded. We are all deluded. We are all deluded. Wait, I will explain that. vivekavānapyatiyauktiko'pi śrutātmatattvo'pi ca paṇḍito'pi śaktyā yayā saṃvṛtabodhadṛṣṭi rātmānamātmasthamimaṃ na veda. vivekavānapyatiyauktiko'pi śrutātmatattvo'pi paṇḍito'pi śaktyā yayā saṃvṛtabodhadṛṣṭi rātmānamātmasthamimaṃ na veda. So what was the question? Everyone, listen. Vivekavānapyatiyauktiko'pi, even a person who has discrimination. We are talking about viveka, means not the knowledge. Viveka normally refers to the knowledge. Here it is discrimination. The person who is capable to understand what is self and what is non-self in a general way. That is what we explain. One should have to have viveka, discrimination. What is that? Atma nityam tadanyat sarvam anityamidi buddhihi. Atma is eternal. Whatever other, that is non-eternal. Other than Atma, everything is non-eternal. That is viveka. Even a person who has that. Not just that. Atiyauktiko'pi. His yauktika means yukti-yukta, a person who has logic. Here we are not just talking about logic. Atiyauktika, a person who has a very great logical skill. Even he or she does not really matter. So, śrutātmatattvo'pi, even a person who has heard about the Atma, listened to multiple texts, and finally becomes disillusionist and say, there is nothing in Vedanta. Why? Because you are not ready to understand. It is not the problem of Vedanta. It is problem of your understanding. You are not ready to understand. Because we are making it clear that the whole creation does not depend upon any other third party. It is dependent upon only you. Whatever good or bad you are facing is caused by you and you only, nothing, no one else. But we are not ready to accept that. We want someone to guide things and do things here. Be the cause. Because we don't want ourselves to be the cause of this disaster. That is the problem. We don't want to, at any point of time, we don't want to accept the truth. We are the root cause for all these problems or anything, any problem. I think I may have done. You know you would have done it, but I think I may have done it. So that is what you are doing here also. See, this is the problem. If you don't understand, then you will have to be you are not ready, fit for Vedanta. If you cannot conceive this, if you cannot understand this, if you cannot accept this, you are not fit for Vedanta. Then even you are not even fit for Bhagavata, etc. The Bhagavata, because people they say, then I am fit for Bhagavata. Bhagavata means it's a composition of stories, different avatars of Vishnu, okay, or any text like Bhagavata. For example, I'm saying because this is a famous text, everywhere it is said. Now, there, what is said is only stories. That is what they do it now. But Bhagavata is Paramahamsa Sanhita. It is a text for the sannyasis. Paramahamsa means sannyasis, renunciates. It's a text for renunciates. But people don't do that. Why will a person who has renunciated and who is facing death in 7 days want to listen to all these stories? There is no point. Earlier I used to say, it's better you will get some CDs, and now you don't even need CDs. You need an internet connection, which is cheap in India, and you need a Netflix connection. You can see thousands of movies in 7 days. Now, that is not the point. The stories are set to as a vehicle for the truth. People forget the real purport of the text, but only indulge in these stories. That is what we want also. We are not ready for Vedanta. So he says, śrutātmatattvo'pi. These are the people who are referred to as śrutātmatattvo'pi, a person who has heard about the Vedanta, who has heard about the self. What difference does it make? Self is eternal. What change did it bring in you? Nothing. Why? Because we don't have the clarity. That is why Vedanta means being established in the self means is not some experience. You won't get any experience in Vedanta. If you are expecting any experience, world is the place for you. Vedanta does not proclaim any experience. It cannot give you any experience. It gets rid of all the experiences. That is what Vedanta does. It is very good at it. Because when you have duality, there is experiencer, experienced. When there is no duality, where can be the experiencer? śrutātmatattvo'pi. That is why we say, when is this samsara possible? Atma tattva means person who is what is a person who has listened to Vedanta? Person who knows about samsara. He is the person who is interested in listening to Vedanta. So you say, okay, samsara. What is samsara? Yatra vrittihi, that's a concomitance, we call it direct concomitance, indirect concomitance, and it is in logic we call it anvaya. Why do you have to go that far? Why not this? Why are you condemning all this? We have already established the creation during the introduction itself. If the Ishvara is the creator, if the cause for all this creation, where did this Ishvara bring material for this cause, this creation? Material cause for this creation. Materials for this creation. Where did he bring it from? If you say he brought it from himself, then he is one who undergoes transformation. Therefore, he is non-eternal. Therefore, there is no point in worshipping him. And if you say he brought from someone like the Tirupati Balaji, there is a temple called Tirupati. In Tirupati, there is a temple called Tirupati Balaji. Balaji is the temple name, Venkateshwara. Now there, that fellow, the form of the deity is standing because he, for marriage, the story goes that he went to Kubera, the richest person, the banker of deities, to take loan. And so he is standing, he is not in Abhay Mudra, he is a reverse Abhay Mudra. So he is begging. That's how they make fun out of. There is a story behind it, and that story has a purport. We forget all that. We only stick to this because the story is very beautiful, and God himself has taken loan. So why not we take loan? That is the problem. So here we have to understand the purport. If the Ishvara is dependent upon himself or dependent on someone else for this creation, then he ceases to be Ishvara. I don't understand. If you don't understand, go to the introduction, listen to that. I have explained it all very clearly. So here you are the cause. That is what we are establishing. Your ignorance is the cause for all the creation. No one else, nothing else. Okay. So śrutātmatattvo'pi, even if you have heard of Vedanta 1,000 times, paṇḍito'pi, pandita, normally panda jnanam yasya astiti pandita, one who has the knowledge is pandita. Here we can refer to him as pandita because he does not have the immediate knowledge, but he has the immediate knowledge. He has studied Vedanta, he understands there is self. Even though he is a pandita, a learned man, a wise person, yayā śaktyā saṃvṛtabodhadṛṣṭi, by which power saṃvṛtabodhadṛṣṭi. Bodhadṛṣṭi is a vision of knowledge, his existence, his inherent nature. Saṃvṛta is veiled. Because of which power his inherent nature is veiled. Atmasthamimaṃ atmanam. Because of which atmasthamimaṃ atmanam na veda. The self, which is himself, he does not understand. So, the self which exists in himself, he does not understand. He starts searching for things externally. Why does he do that? So, first now we understood the power of avarana, veiling. It hides his own nature. Then what happens? So, when you don't understand the substratum that it is a rope, the drama starts. Only when you don't understand that your inherent nature is self, drama starts. Who starts the drama? So for that, he says, vikṣepanāmnī rajasastu śaktiḥ pravṛttihetuḥ puruṣasya nityam sthūlādiliṅgāntamaśeṣametad yayā sadātmanyasadeva sūyate. vikṣepanāmnī rajasastu śaktiḥ pravṛttihetuḥ puruṣasya nityam sthūlādiliṅgāntamaśeṣametad yayā sadātmanyasadeva sūyate. vikṣepanāmnī, this one called as vikṣepa. This one which is called as vikṣepa. That is what he says. This one called as vikṣepa. This, what does it do? What is that vikṣepa? Projection. The power of projection. How do you know it is a power? Rajasastu, the power of rajoguna. Because what is the characteristic of rajoguna? Activity. The characteristics of tamoguna is ignorance, inert, darkness. Therefore, it veils. And the characteristics of the nature of the rajoguna is activity. Therefore, definitely, nityam puruṣasya pravṛttihetuḥ. It always becomes the cause for the purusha to be involved, to put forth effort. Puruṣasya, here purusha does not mean the self. Normally, purusha means self. Here, purusha refers to the jiva. Because in the self, there can be no effort. There can be no activity. In the non-self, in the jiva, in this purusha, the effort starts. And that is the cause for. Which is the cause for? Vikṣepaśaktiṃ is the cause for. So, therefore, yayā, because of which sadātmanyasadeva sthūlādiliṅgāntamaśeṣametad aṣeṣam sūyate. In the self, which is of the nature of existence, in that self, asadeva, all these non-existence, All these inert. What are you referring to? Sthūlādiliṅgāntam. Sthūlādiliṅgāntam. Sthūlādiliṅgāntam means this is just a pun intended idea. Actually, when we say, if we have cold, people will say, okay, you take this medicine, it will go in a week. If you don't take this medicine, you will suffer for 7 days. If I take the medicine in a week, don't take a 7 days. Same thing. Similarly, here also he says, asadeva, the non-self. What is that? Sthūlādiliṅgāntam. When we say, oh, beginning from the sthula till the linga, beginning from the sthula sharira till the linga sharira. What is that? Gross body and subtle body. There are only two bodies. That's what he says. Right from the gross body to the subtle body. Just he should say simple, the gross body and subtle body, because causal body is not in this. Causal body does not come into this, because causal body is the ignorance. So the gross body and the subtle body, all this. Why he says right from that to this? Because all this, we see so many gross bodies, so many subtle bodies. All these sūyate, it creates. Sui prana to give birth to, it gives birth to all this. Which gives birth to all this? Vikṣepaśaktiṃ. What is that vikṣepaśaktiṃ? The power of projection. Whose power it is? The power of rajoguna. Okay, now how do you see this? You say it is all created by me? He says, nidrā yathā pūruṣamapramattaṃ samāvṛṇotīyamapi pratīcam tathā vṛṇotyāvṛtiśaktiḥ anta vikṣepaśaktiṃ parijṛmbhayantī. No. You said the self is pure. Yes, I said that. The self is changeless. Yes, I said that. The self is existence. Yes, I said that. The self is knowledge. Yes, I said that. The self is bliss. I said that. I said. Okay. Now, if the self is knowledge, smart fellow that is, why will he allow this ignorance to come and sit on top of him? Why will it give a chance for this ignorance to live? Taking the energy from him. Very good. You should definitely ask this question. Why? Because apramattam puruṣam nidrā yathā samāvṛṇoti. Apramattam. Pramattam, careless. Apramattam, careful. A person, one who is careful, he takes a good strong coffee, comes to the class, sits in the class, and goes to sleep. Or we get everything ready for doing japa and Rama. So these things, we want to do japa. There's no that we are neither coming to class for sleep, nor are we going to japa for sleep. Neither of them. But still, we want to do carefully the japa, we want to listen to the shastras very carefully. But still, even though we are careful, puruṣam nidrā yathā samāvṛte, sleep captures us, overpowers us, wields us. Yathā, similarly, tathā, similarly, iyam āvṛttiṣaktirapī, this power of wheeling to antah vikṣepaśaktiṃ parijṛmbhayantī pratīcam avrṇoti. Pratīcam avrṇoti, it hides the self, one's own self. It hides one's own self and manifests the creation. Antah vikṣepaśaktiṃ, antah pratīcam avrṇoti vikṣepaśaktiṃ parijṛmbhayantī. It hides internally, it hides one own self, the self, and vikṣepaśaktiṃ parijṛmbhayantī. It manifests the vikṣepaśaktiṃ. What is vikṣepaśaktiṃ? To project things. That is what is happening. Otherwise, there can be no projection of any kind. There can be no creation of any kind here. Because we say in Dakshinamurti Stotra, in the first stotra itself, it's made very clear. Vishvam darpana drishyamana nagarim tulyam nijantargatam pasyanatmani maya parijṛmbhayantī yathā nidrā. Meaning, Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagarim. The Vishwam, this creation is everything, the universe. Everything is a darpana, mirror, drishyamana nagarim, seen in world creation. Like the city or the town which you see inside the mirror is not real. Similarly, the world you see. Oh, then I don't see the mirror image there. I'm seeing the original. There is original. Then you accept that there is original. That for that he says, Pashyan Atmani. He sees in the self. Like he sees the world inside the mirror. He sees the world in himself. Parijṛmbhayantī, as though it has manifested externally. How can I see something inside and see it to manifest externally? Yathā nidrā, one simple example, like in the sleep. Like in the sleep means not the sleep which I explained. Sleep here is dream state. Like in the dream state, what happened in the dream state? In the dream state, you are the dreamer, but you see the duality. You see the duality. You love someone, someone loves you. You hate someone, someone hates you. You want to beat someone, someone beats you. Whichever it is. You beat a group of people people beat you. Whichever it may be. All that is only you. There is none other than you to be all those characters. No other character except you in the dream state. Because in the sleep, whoever existed, that is the person who is in this dream state, is the same person in the waking state. Yat sakshat prabodha samaye śrutātmatattvo'pi. When he wakes up, he sees himself to be non-dual. Oh, all that, the love, hate, etc., which I saw in the dream. Oh, sometimes you worry, sometimes you are happy. But you understand all those duality which you saw in the dream is not real. Like prabodha samaye, the real wake up, which is understanding the self. Then you understand all these dualities are nothing but the projection. So that idea, now understand. This is the simple logic I said. Yatra vritti tatra samsaraha. Now, where there is vritti, where there is mind, vritti means mind, mind means vritti. I don't have to say mind vritti. Where there is vritti, that vritti does not only refer to mind. When I say mind, it is only vritti. That is clear. Okay. So vritti, but when I say vritti, it only does not refer to mind. That is what we have to be very clear about it. So where there is vritti, there is a samsara. Where there is no vritti, there is no samsara. Where there is absence of vritti, there is absence of samsara. This is direct and indirect context. We call it anvaya and vyatirika. Now, does that mean there is no samsara in the deep sleep because there is no vritti? But there was a question. Oh, but the Yoga Sutrakara says very clearly, abhava alambana vrittir nidrā, a thought function which is objectifying the absence is nidrā. We don't accept it like that. We Vedantins don't accept that sutra. Why? Because for Vedantins, the mind exists, the mind exists, the vritti exists in the waking state. The mind exists, vritti exists in the dream state. The mind does not exist, vritti exists in the deep sleep state. That is the difference. Mind does not exist. Mind merges in the ignorance and only ignorance exists. Then how do you say there is vritti? The vritti of ignorance, not the vritti of mind. The vritti of ignorance, the activity of ignorance exists. How do you know there is activity of ignorance there? Because you come out of the deep sleep state and you say in the waking state, I slept very peacefully. How do you know that I slept very peacefully? I explained these differences earlier. If there are three persons in the waking state, in dream state and deep sleep state, then you should say that person dreamt and that person slept. How will you say, when I slept, when I dreamt, how is that I associate the dream state and the deep sleep state? So it's all same, right? So he says, śaktyā mahatyā āvarana abhidhānaya samāvṛte sati amalasvarūpe pumānanātmanyahameṣa ityātmabuddhiṃ vidadhāti mohat śaktyā mahatyā āvarana abhidhānaya samāvṛte sati amalasvarūpe pumānanātmani aham eṣa eva iti ātmatvabuddhiṃ vidadhāti mohat. Why is this whole creation coming into existence? Again, he'll explain that. Because realization is a state where you experience something that does not happen. Then what is realization? Realization is a state where there is no doubt, there is no erroneous knowledge. When there is no erroneous knowledge and there is no doubt, how can there be all this kind of stupidity? Why is the snake seen on the rope? Because there is an erroneous knowledge. Why did the erroneous knowledge take place? Because you didn't have the knowledge of the substratum. There was a error regarding the substratum. There was a doubt regarding the substratum. So all these came into existence. When there is no doubt and no error, there can be no snake. When there is no doubt, there is no error, there can be no creation. You won't see, we don't care actually. So he says, Avarana abhidhanaya, that which is named Avarana. Earlier he said that which is named vikṣepanāmnī. Now he says that which is named abhidhana namni same. Okay, that which is named, that which is called as Avarana, mahatyāvaraṇābhidhānaya, it is not a simple power. That is why we have all the troubles. We face all these troubles. Mahatyāvaraṇābhidhānaya, great power. This great power called Avarana, amalasvarūpe samāvṛte sati. Amalasvarūpe, malarahita, amala, pure. The pure nature, inherent nature of the self. Samāvṛte sati, when it hides. When it hides the inherent nature of the self, at that point of time, pumānanātmanī, this fellow, this jiva, puman, purusha, this jiva, in the non-self, aham esha eva iti. I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that, in all these different ways, identifies moha because of the delusion. And ātmatvabuddhiṃ vidadhāti. I am this and I am that. That is okay, but he does not stay with that. He identifies itself as self. He identifies the non-self as self and leaves himself. That's the problem. So, vidadhāti. How does it happen? So, the example of dream that is brought again. The example I said, yathā nidrā, that is said here. Yathā prasupti pratibhāsadehe swātmatadhīresha tathā hyanātmani janma āpyayakshudbhayatṛṣamadīn āropayatyātmani tasya dharmān yathā prasuptir prasupti pratibhāsadehe swātmatva dhīhi esha tathā anātmani tathā hi anātmani janma āpyayakshudbhayatṛṣamadīn आरोप्यते आत्मनि तस्य धर्म प्रसुप्ति प्रतिभास देहे यथा प्रसुप्ति means deep sleep prakrushtena supti prasupti, but here we don't understand it as deep sleep because in deep sleep there is no deha. Pratibhasa dehe, the illusory body, the body which you see, which is perceived in the dream state. Prasupti here is like nidrā, yathā nidrā, same nidrā. Nidrā means sleep. Here prasupti, sleep. Sleep here refers to not sleep, deep sleep, but it refers to the dream. In the dream, the different bodies you see, yathā, like you see different bodies in the dream. Tathā, similarly, anātmani swātmatvaddhihi, you identify it with different things. You see dog to be yourself being beaten by a man. You see yourself to be a ghost which is haunted by something else. So these different objects and different things you see, you identify it as yourself, which is not yourself really. Anatmani swatmajihi. This fellow similarly sees in the non-self the self. But it is himself, is his own self. Because of this, yesha purusha, this person, this jiva, janma, birth, apyaya, death, kshud, hunger, bhaya, fear, trud, trishna, thirst, shramadi, and other difficulties. See, just the hunger and thirst is not difficulty. There are so many difficulties. Like when you go to this is the period for Amarnath Yatra. There is a place called Amarnath in Kashmir. Okay, people go from Jammu. They take bus to the base camp Chandanwadi, Pelgam, and go to Chandanwadi. From there, they go up by walk. In different places, right from Chandanwadi, there are people who offer food. Bhandara, they call it. They offer food, different types of very good food, and drinks also, meaning coffee, tea, etc. All that they give. So they have a tagline: food for hungry, water for thirsty. That's what their tagline is. Each Bandara people, all these people who provide food, they have this tagline. Now that itself is not enough. You have to go different tops, different heights, Vishu top, Ganesh top, etc. Now your leg is going to pain. Maybe they have a massager also. Fine. To massage your legs. Fine. That is not also enough. Why? Because while climbing up, there will be difficulty in breathing oxygen. Then there will be also sometimes because of the difficulty in breathing and other things, you will nauseate, you will vomit, etc. Now they will give a camphor, they will have oxygen, oxygen, etc. supply there. Everything. Because it is not just the food and hunger, though they have the tagline as food and providing food for hungry and water for thirsty, they have all this because there are other difficulties. Shramadi, that is why he says Shramadi. Okay, so fear is a Shrama. So there is one problem. Thirst is problem, hunger is problem, then birth is problem, death is problem, disease is problem, all these different problems. Tasya dharma, and therefore all those attributes of non-self, which is birth, etc. Atmani aropeti, superimposes on self. That is the problem. He superimposed the attribute of the non-self on the self. We'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.